Hey you guys, it's Rochelle. So today I thought I would show you how to make some vegan scalloped potatoes. And I made a recipe video on vegan scalloped potatoes when I first made a YouTube channel, but it didn't really turn out very good and I wasn't extremely happy with it. It was the first time I'd ever made it. So I have perfected it, and today I bring you a finished product that is a lot better and a lot easier and tastier. So I hope you guys like it, and let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is make our cheesy, creamy sauce for our scalloped potatoes. So we're going to start out by making a little vegan roux and make the cream sauce. So I'm going to put in the earth balance into this pan here, and we're just going to let this melt. So when our earth balance is almost browning, we're going to add our flour and stir it up. And you're just going to keep stirring it. If you've never made one of these before, you're pretty much just making a thickener for the sauce. That's all the roux is. And you're just going to keep stirring this until it looks nice and pasty and kind of crumbly like this. Then we're going to add in our milk. And once we add in the milk, you might want to start using a whisk so that you get all the clumps out. It's just easier than a spoon, I think you'll find. Okay, so once you have no more clumps and you've been stirring for a while and you can see that it's starting to thicken a little bit, then we're going to add our cheese. And like always, the exact measurements for everything are in the description. So we're just going to put in our cheese and we're going to stir this until all of the cheese is nice and melted. And you will know when it's done, when it is thick and bubbling a little bit and you can't see any of the cheese that isn't melted. It should all be melted and uniform, and if you're using cheddar diet, it will be a lot more yellowy orange than this. But like I said, they didn't have cheddar diet, so I'm using pepper jack, but this is what it looks like when it's done. So we're just going to set this aside, take it off the heat, and get our potatoes ready. Okay guys, so I've got my potatoes here. I've got 6 large russet potatoes. You can use pretty much any kind of potatoes that you like. And these are pre-cooked because it's going to be a lot easier and just make the dish better overall if they're pre-cooked. You can just use any leftover potatoes that you have, or just microwave them and be done with it. Because last time I made these scalloped potatoes and I didn't cook the potatoes, it just took a lot longer and it was a little harder. So just save yourself a little trouble and pre-cook them. It's not that hard. So I'm just going to slice these up. And you can peel them if you want to, but it's not really necessary, just as long as there's not any, bad spots or anything. And cut them about 1/4 of an inch thick, like so. Maybe a little thinner than that. It's okay if they break apart a little bit, that's totally fine. So just keep slicing them until you run out of your potatoes. If you see any bad spots, just cut them out. So when you're done slicing them, you should have a giant plate of nicely sliced potatoes ready to go. Alright, so I'm just going to pour our sauce, which I added a little bit of paprika and a tiny bit of salt to because I thought it needed it. I'm just going to pour that in there, leave a little bit at the bottom, like that, so it's coated. And then we're going to, as you can see, I didn't use all of the potatoes, there's a couple left. And we're just going to layer the potatoes in the pan and just arrange them and then smother it in the cheese sauce. So I'm just going to layer these. Whoa, my hand looks really red in this frame. That's kind of strange. And once you have covered the bottom with potatoes, we are going to put another layer of the cheese sauce. Like so. just going to spread that out and finish putting the rest of the potatoes. Alright, so I just topped it with a little bit more vegan cheese after I finished layering it, and we're just going to bake this at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll show you when it's done. Alright guys, so I took it out of the oven and I baked it for about 30 minutes with the cover on, and then about 10 minutes without the cover on. I don't know why I said 15 before, that's a little bit, that's not enough time. So, just bake it until the daya is all nice and melted and everything comes together nicely. And then you can just scoop some, just dig right in and scoop it out of the pan. Like that, just put a little bit on a dish, like so. You guys can kind of see the texture there, it's so good. Like I said, make sure that you use the cheddar vegan cheese because it turns out a lot better. But it tastes good this way too, if you happen to have, and you happen to not have that kind of cheese. And I put some on a plate, and it's like that. Show you a little better. So I hope you guys like this recipe, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos, as always. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye guys. Yay. Say hello.